Hello everyone, this is Julie with Craft with Julie and welcome to another Makers with Heart Mystery Envelope Challenge. This month, Lori sent us an envelope. The instructions were easy. She just wanted us to create with some mixed media, maybe something that we haven't done before. But for me, this challenge was actually hard because I am not well versed in mixed media. And so this was for sure a good challenge for me. So I'm starting off with some Distressed Oxide ink. I'm taking my Speckled egg and a water brush, and I just added some of that ink right onto my all-purpose mat and using it as my palette. And I'm just swishing some of that color right onto some cardstock. If you need a little bit more color, use less water. And then I'm also going to add some splatters with the same color just to kind of just add a little bit more interest in the wider areas. So I'm going to bring that a little bit closer so you can see the color just a little bit better. The little sprinkles are really light as well, but you can see that on the card. And I'm just going to take a paper towel and clean off my brush, just squeeze a little bit of that water out, wipe that off, and then wipe off my surface. And this all-purpose mat just makes it so easy just to wipe everything off and then move on to the next thing. The next thing I want to do is add some stamping. So I'm taking the Pumice Stone Distress Oxide ink and a flower out of the Cosette card making stamp set, and I'm just adding a couple flowers on there. They're not like full images. I want it to look messy and just kind of a hint of those flowers in the background. The next thing I want to add is some gold splatters. So I'm taking the Gilt gloss spray and I'm just taking the top off so it just has the nozzle and the little tube. And I'm just going to tap that to add some of those sprinkles all over the card, and it just is so cool. It gives you such an awesome effect, adding some little flecks of gold on your card. I'm going to bring this up a little bit closer so hopefully you can see the different layers a little bit better with the ink and the stamp and then that gloss spray. The next thing I'm going to do is add some texture paste. I haven't done this in a while, so I was kind of worried that my texture paste was going to be dried out, but it was okay. And I'm taking the Swiss Dot Stencil, which is a newer item from close to my heart. And let me tell you, I'm loving the Swiss Dot Stencil. If you've seen some of my past videos, we've used it on all kinds of things. So it's definitely one that you want to have in your stash. And I'm just going to lightly go over this stencil, adding some of those dots here and there. Nothing, basically just random. So nothing too precise. And then I decided to add just kind of some swashes of texture paste. So there's some flatter um, little spots on there, and it actually turns out really cool having the dots and then just kind of some flat, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like a little splatter of texture on there, and it really does look really cool. So I'm going to bring this up a little bit closer so hopefully you can see those dots and then just those little spackles of texture paste that I added randomly around the card. It really turns out really cool. So next is the sentiment. This part is really scary for me because I've done all of this work already and then I'm going to stamp right on the card. But I think we can do it. So I took this stamp set. It's one that came in one of those cut above card kits. They just have some amazing sentiments, and I really like this one. It says, "You're kind of the best ever." So I could definitely send this card to a friend, um, a sister. Anyone would love this card to brighten their day. So I'm going to stamp this off because I am super nervous and try it a couple times. I ink it up a couple times and even get the squishy mat out because I really don't want to mess up. And I think I finally, nope, I'm going to go back and make sure I have enough ink. Tap, tap, squish, squish. And hopefully, oh, no, I'm going to try it again. I'm really nervous about stamping this on there because I do not want to start over. But I eventually get a nice image, and see, I'm still second guessing myself. But I do get a nice clean image of the sentiment. And the ink I'm using is charcoal ink. I thought black would be a little too dark, so I brought in the charcoal so it just has that darker gray tone to it. And I totally spaced the items that Lori sent us in our mystery envelope. She did send us some cloud paper, some cardstock, a little bit of twine, and some shimmer trim. And so I'm looking at it to see if anything would work with this card. And I think I'm going to go ahead and use the twine and just use that as my little accent across the bottom and just tie a knot on the bottom of the card. So I get to this point, and I did try just using the tape runner to attach the panel to the front of a card, and it just didn't work. The twine was too bulky. Having that mixed media on the cardstock made it a little bit wavy. So I grabbed some 3D foam, and I'm just going to add some strips to the back of that just to pop it up a little bit. And what that does is actually adds a little bit of shadow behind that front panel. So it adds even another layer of dimension to the card. I think it turned out pretty good. Again, this is not my style or my expertise, but I think that a lot of the fun texture with the texture paste and the different layers of colors and stamping, that it really turned out to be a nice card. Make sure you go and check out what the other ladies created with their mystery envelopes and what media that they tackled. And if you enjoyed this video, I would love a thumbs up. Maybe leave me a comment and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.